Well, hello there, and greetings. Don't really know how to explain what this series is going to be, because it's not really a Let's Play. We're not going to be playing any games here. This entire series is more or less going to be just, kind of a journal, I guess. A diary, if you want to call it that. A chronicling of me learning how to use RPG Maker VX Ace here. Due to generous donations from several people, I actually had enough money in my account to go ahead and buy this lovely tool here. If you don't know what RPG Maker is, it is a suite of tools to let inexperienced and basically talentless people like me to attempt to create a Japanese-styled RPG in the vein of like Final Fantasy IV and the older Final Fantasies. It has a lot of interesting features and it is very easy to use. And I'm just going to be, yeah, like I said, I'm going to be chronicling everything that I do here. Well, not everything. But I want to show, hopefully over the course of however long this playlist is, me starting off as basically a complete newbie to this program. I have no scripting experience at all. Period. I'm not a scripter. I have never had any luck learning and retaining scripting information, and it was never anything I was good at. So older tools that required a lot of extensive scripting in order to get anything to work were basically above and beyond my capabilities. I had no desire to spend weeks and months grinding away trying to learn and memorize a scripting language that most likely I wouldn't be able to retain the information for. I don't want to be a scripter. I don't want to be a programmer. What I want to do is basically be a character designer, story planner, things like that. I'm not an artist. I cannot make my own sprites. I cannot make my own tiles. I can cut and paste and use other people's, but again, artistry, not my main draw. Same with music. I am not a composer. I cannot make my own songs for this. So the sprites that I'm going to be using, they're all pre-made, either by the company or by other people. Most of the music that I'm going to be using is already pre-made and comes with the game. There are a few tracks that I will be using that I have created, but they're basically just guitar tracks. You'll see them. I'll show you. I'm sure we'll be getting to that at some point. And most of the scripts that I will be using will come from other people. The RPG Maker community is vast. It is highly supported from the fans. There are tons of scripts, tons of sprites, tons of music that you can use, and whenever I get around to eventually creating a finalized product, I will be using as many of those sources as I can, provided they are free to use. I'm not going to be making anything to sell. If I do make a game, whenever I get around to it, it'll be released for free, and I'll have all of the sources documented, everyone that I've used scripts from, everyone that I have used sprites and music from. I'll provide links to all of those people, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do, hopefully, what I'm planning to do. The game does come on its own, with plenty of those things anyways, so I won't have to be using any outside sources for quite some time, hopefully. But yeah, let's see. I have spent probably, at the time of starting this recording, I've spent probably 12 hours just fooling around with this thing, with the RPG Maker here. So I do know some of the basics. I can do a decent amount, but nothing really advanced, nothing super flashy yet. Hopefully, someday it'll get to that. So yeah, first thing we're going to do is just go ahead and click on File. Oh yeah, and I think I've mentioned this already, but I've been rambling for 4 minutes here, but this is not a tutorial. I am not going to be teaching you how to do things in a timely fashion. There's not a checklist that I'm going to be going down and teaching you. I could just ramble on and do things wrong and lead you astray. So if you want a tutorial series, I will try to post a link in the description. The developer has tutorials that they update pretty frequently, it seems like. And there are some user-made tutorials that I will be using throughout this process. And I will bring them up on the screen probably That way you guys can see what I'm reading through as well. But let's just go ahead and get into it, and I'll show you how easy it is to throw something together here that you can run around in and actually use. So we're just going to go to New Project here, and let's see, the folder name, let's see, we'll just call this one, the folder name should be, this is going to be the test map. I do have a map that I'm working on that at some point I may load up, and we'll just jump into that, but I've already done a bunch of things in there on that map, and I want to cover some of these basics first, so that way you guys know how easy it is to start from scratch and to throw everything together. And the game title will be, how about, we're just going to call it, we'll call it Voltrania. That's what this is called. I'm not going to bother changing the location, even though I normally don't save things to my C drive, because that is my Windows drive. I don't have any games or anything installed on this hard drive. It is strictly for the operating system, but we'll store the documents here for now. So as you can see, this is what you start off with as. This is where you start off as. Voltrania. You can right-click over here to make new maps, to load sample maps. We're not going to be doing that. We start off with map 01 here. The first thing I want to do is expand this map. Map 1 is going to be the world map that we will walk around on, and I want it to be a lot bigger than this. So we'll just go to map properties, and this is called the world map. The display name, we will be exploring the world of Voltrania as we go through here. The tile set, exterior, field, interior, and dungeon. There is a difference. I don't really know what exterior is yet. Interior, that is obviously for the interiors of buildings and things like that. Dungeon, pretty self-explanatory. Field, I believe that's world map stuff. And as for the map size, how about we make it 60 by 60? Pretty good sized map, but we're going to have an island and water, and yeah, we'll need this, hopefully. Scroll type, this determines whether, if you reach the edge of your world map, if it will loop over to the other side, or if it's hard-coded just to be a dead end. So you hit the world map and you can't go any further, and then you have to go, back where you came from. We're going to have that both sides loop. That way the world is round, and you can just go in circles here. Parallax background, we're not going to be using a parallax background, but you can use some of these backgrounds that will scroll with you. Might be useful, say, in a dungeon or something like that. Different things you could use it for. Like you could have stars underneath a dungeon floor that you're building. That way, as the player scrolls through, instead of having a background underneath the dungeon, you can make it look like they're floating in a void or something like that. Depends how artistic you are, whether or not you can use those things effectively. As we go through this series, you're going to see that I have a lot of problems deciding how to use things. I am extremely indecisive. The battle background. Considering the fact that I don't know, well, yeah, we'll set this up. We can specify the battle background. If we don't select it, it'll automatically be pieced together, it says. You can hover over anything in this program and it will tell you what it's used for. Extremely useful. But we're going to set up the background because we're going to be on, how about a little deserted island or something like that. Let's see. So we want the battle background to be dirt. It looks close enough to sand, and on that you can have desert. We'll have dunes there. There we go. So that'll be our battle background. And I may do some tests too, just to see how well the game will piece together a random background based on where we're fighting. You can change the background music, which, let's do that right now. This is the soundtrack that will be on your world map. And there's, a decent number of themes here. It doesn't come with that many, and you can import your own fairly easily. I'll be doing that later on. Once we get a little bit more in depth. But you can adjust the volume that it will play at and the pitch. And the pitch will seriously change how some of these songs sound. So let's see. I'm actually going to turn the volume down because I don't know how loud this is. So there we go. Field 1. This could be a world theme map song. A little bit peaceful though. Field 2. No. This is just a little bit too epic. Corny epic. Not really amazing, just like cheese epic. Field 4. That's kind of sad sounding. That'd be used in a good cutscene where they were discussing something serious. Or something serious had just happened. Scene 1, no. What do we got? Theme 1. Yeah, that's kind of a happy theme. We don't really want that. Theme 4. Theme 5, no. Need something that sounds tropical. No. Certainly not. Too much J-pop in these songs here. No. No. That might actually make a decent world map song. Has kind of that marching tone to it. That just, says, you're on an adventure. Go. Go do something. Go be a hero. And of course, this is actually kind of a tropical sounding. But what if we crank it down, the pitch? Kind of a laid-back tropical island now, where they don't take anything very quick. About here. I think we'll just use this for now, and we'll click stop. Because if we don't, that song will still continue to play in the background. So there we go. That's the background town for our world map here. And this is the background sound. You can have clocks, darkness, dripping, fire, earthquake sound. Some of these would be useful if you set up event triggers in dungeons and in cutscenes, things like that you set up. We'll probably use some of these at some point, but we're going to have a sound of the ocean. However, we're going to make it much quieter than that. It just needs to be in the background, and take the pitch down too, so that the waves sound like they're a little bit slower, a little bit heavier. Well, maybe not heavier, but just lower and slower as they come crashing in. And there we go. So that'll be the background sound. This is our world map. I believe you can also put certain triggers for scripts in this note section. Again, I don't really know too much about the scripting in this game yet, so I'm just going to put this as our world map for now. And you can also decide what encounters you will have on this map here. So you can just double click here. It gives you a list of creatures that you can choose from, as well as how many of them you'll be facing. And you can set these encounters up on your own very easy. I'll be doing that at some point. It starts with the easiest stuff and goes all the way down to the demon god himself, which we probably don't want to be fighting. So we're just going to have slimes. We're not going to actually bump into them yet. And for now, the whole map is where we will put them. We'll come back in later and specify which region that you will bump into them into, because you can specify which regions, you can set up different regions on the world map, and if the player moves between regions, you can adjust the difficulty in those regions, so you can have a really tough, say, dinosaur forest that is great for experience, but everything else around the forest is just fairly weak. So yeah, we'll bump this up like that, and that's fine. And the average number of steps before a random battle happens on this map, we're just going to leave it at 30, and disable dashing. This makes it impossible for the character to sprint on the world map, which I want, because he shouldn't be able to sprint on the world map. Sprinting should only be for local maps, town maps, dungeons, and things like that. This way, if you disable dashing on the world map, it makes the world map feel larger. It kind of, it makes it feel a little bit bigger, because they have to spend more time running between towns. It's a tactical decision. And, we'll just ignore the rest of this and click OK. And you can see it expands everything out. We have a ton of water here, and a bunch of nothing. This determines the zoom level on your map. There's 1/4. This is quite a large area. 60 by 60 tiles. That's fairly large. And this is the largest you can make your map, I believe. You would have to be insanely dedicated to make a map this large, and to add enough detail to make it all interesting. However, we're just going to do this. So obviously, we want to get rid of all of this nothing here. We want it to be water. We need our landmass surrounded by water instead of having it surrounded by nothing. So, let's see. This is the map. You can switch it to map editing mode, which I want to do. And you can click anywhere, and wherever you click, that's where you place the tile that you've selected. We've got some river-looking tile selected right now, so we could easily draw rivers on a world map that, say, a canoe could go down. However, I don't want that. What I want is this ocean tile right here. So now we can click here, and voila, ocean. However, I don't really feel like filling in every tile there myself, so we'll go to the paint bucket, click there, click on that one, and bingo, it is all filled in with water. All of the same water too. Later on you can kind of spruce it up a little bit if you want shallow water, if you want deeper water. I believe there are tiles that will represent that. And we might as well get into creating our first island here. Let's see. First off, let me move the player here. Just click and drag. This is where the player will start. So we're going to have him start actually kind of like right around in here. And let's zoom in. And let's go back to the map mode. These three buttons here, okay, let me explain these. This is the map button. This is so you can edit the map tiles. Whenever you're building a town piece by piece, this is the mode that you'll have to switch to. Event mode, very useful for setting up cutscenes, setting up encounters, setting up inns, shops. This is basically where you'll be using this a lot to set things up. And region mode. You can have 63 different regions. And what that does, say there's region 1, and then we'll have region 2 right next to it. If the player was to get into a random fight here, you could have different monsters than region 2. As far as I know, that's all regions do. Then you can probably use them in a much more advanced way if you know what you're doing. But for now, all I know to use them for is to change the encounters that you'll be running into. However, back to this. We want to make an island, and let's see. We need sand, is what we should, or dirt. Here we go, dirt right here. Wait, that's not dirt. We don't want a ridge like that. That's sand. That would be great for a beach. Okay, so we'll have a beach here. Let's see. What is this? Looks like it's just minor dunes, a little bit of texture. That way you can texturize your beach. If you don't want your beach to be completely flat, you can have that. Let's see. However, I don't really want that. Is it this? No, that's grass. I don't know all of the tiles that well yet. This is some type of dirt. Not bad, actually. That would work. Really dried, parched desert ground. These rocks haven't been ground down into sand yet, so we'll use this. Just fill it in a little bit. This first island is not going to be very big. It's just going to be like a little explanation island for you guys here. You can add mountains, and let's see, this will be a mountainous part. They'll stack up and start to clump together as you use them. You can see them filling in there. There we go. So we just got some mountains there. We'll put some minor dunes that have worn down over time right here, and then right on the edge, just more sand dunes there. You don't really need to do anything like this, just showing you guys the tiles. You can walk through these two tiles here. They are passable by default. The really tall mountains are not. And if you right click on any tile, you will use that tile. So if you don't want to go over here all the time, you can click here and then you can place more rock. You can click here, right click there, and you can place more beach. You can click here and place more dunes. However, I want to get rid of that mountain there. Get rid of those two mountains there. We'll just have a small beach here. There we go. And that'll be fine. You can add forests, so why not have a little palm forest here? Nice little tropical island. And the forest, of course, will have its own region, because forest monsters are a little bit different than dry plains monsters or beach monsters, if you want them to be. What else could we do? Oh yeah, we can switch tabs here. A is the tiles for the environment. However, like this tile for example, it doesn't really blend in anywhere. That water, I don't know how to deal with that. I don't even know what it would be used for. I don't know what tiles it blends in with yet. You can have whirlpools out there, even though I don't think they don't do anything by default, but using scripts and events, you could have that whirlpool suck the player in and then send them to a whole different region, to a whole different world, to a dungeon, to a map. I'll get to that here in a minute too. Next thing we want to do is click on this B tab. These are the items that you can use. So, let's see. This mountain here, how about we have a little dungeon entrance right there. Nothing too fancy. Kind of flesh it out around it just a bit. There we go. So it's not just floating there. That works. And we'll have our first little itty-bitty town here. In fact, it will just be... let's see... We'll just make it a small collection of houses. In fact, we'll make it... right in the middle of the forest there. Why not? And what else should we add here? Oh yeah, how about a floating island? Boom. There we go. Put a drop shadow underneath it so it looks like it's really high. I guess you could have it like right there. Now that thing's really high off the ground. Right there, it's not very high off the ground at all. Here, holy crap, that thing is way up there. Shadows do change perspectives on things. You can have a volcano here. Let's see. There we go. There's a volcano. Maybe we'll make that into a dungeon in this tutorial here. You could have a beanstalk that leads up. Well, there is a way to adjust the layering, I think. There might be. I'm still not very good with the tile set and layering things, but that would work. It looks close enough like it connects. So you could have this beanstalk be a dungeon. The player could bump into it, you could send them through an adventure, and when they get to the top of the dungeon, you could transfer them up here. Lots of different things you can do. And it's all pretty easy to use, very easy and straightforward. But yeah, our first town, our first dungeon, we've got the music chosen for the overworld map here. So let's do the next thing actually, let's just do a quick test, shall we? We can do a quick playtest of the game. At any time, you can test your game out. So yeah, we'll just click playtest. Do we want to save changes? Yeah, might as well. Good lord, that's loud. Oh, crap. Let me actually mute this a little bit. Take that down to 46. Good lord, game. Voltronia. Take that down to... how about 35? In fact, both of them to 35. I want them to be the same level. That way the audio that I'm testing in the game, or in the editor, sounds exactly the same in the game. So the land of Voltronia is where we're at. New game, continue, or shut down. You can change this title screen too, pretty easily. I'll be doing that at some point, but for now it's just default. And we'll go to new game here. And we instantly start out. Right there where our character start position is. You can see our dungeon up there, but it's not connected to anything yet. So I mean, we can bump into it, but it doesn't take us anywhere. And walk through the forest there. Oh, I must still have Region 1 enabled here or something. That's weird. Okay, slime emerged. Oh wait, no, never mind. Because I have encounters turned on and I said that slimes are on the whole map, that's why we have having an encounter. I didn't think we'd fight anything yet, but we'll fight. One thing about this, about RPG Maker, it doesn't have a side view battle system. It's still set up very much like Phantasy Star 4, so you can't actually see your party fight. However, there are scripts that you can use, and hopefully I will be able to figure them out, to allow a side view battle system. I would be amazed if somebody could make a Chrono Trigger battle style system. That would be awesome. But yeah, here we are, our nice little island. Still so far to go though. And, you know, one thing I do notice here, our music is really quiet. So, because I did crank it down because I was worried about the volume. Let's crank that back up to 100. And try that again. You can instantly try it. There we go. Now we can hear the music. Pretty nice. So yeah, simple, easy, straightforward to test. And the next thing we need to do, obviously, is create our first town. That's what I want to set up. So we'll just create a new map here. And this will be the... Let's see, what should this town be called? This will be the village of Grimrage right here. And we'll just have it display Village of Grimrage. The tile set, we're going to have it be an interior tile set. And it doesn't need to be a very big town, so how about just 20 by 20? And no scrolling. There shouldn't be any battles in there. However, we do want to change the music in the town. It needs to have its own custom song. So let's see. I don't know if that would really work for the Village of Grimrage. You know, Village of Grimrage should have kind of a slower, darker sound. It's kind of like a slum town. Pretty dangerous. You really don't want to stay there after night. The people on this island have been here for far too long. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work for the town, why not? I don't want to disable dashing. We don't really need any sound in town. We could probably still maybe hear the ocean there, but we're just going to remove it. That way the player only notices the ocean sound while they can see the ocean on the world map here. There'll be no encounters, no parallax backgrounds, and there we go. And this is our little design area for the town. Very small, so let's get it set up. Let's see. First off, we need to have sand in town. We're going to build it on a base of sand here. There we go. And what else should we have? One thing I'm not very good at yet is designing buildings and piecing them all together. The tile set does still elude me. It has a lot of little quirks that I still haven't figured out. But yeah, we have 3 different tabs here. Walls, floors, various other pieces, stairs, ruined pieces, different things like that. B, that is things like furniture, cracks in the walls, various weapons you can see, setting up shops, stairs for going down and up, for transferring between regions, ropes and ladders, different things like that. And C, this is little accessories in town that you can scatter around in houses just to add more life, things like that. However, what we want is some simple buildings. They live in a forest, so... Whoops. So let's give them wooden buildings. Let's see, do I want that one or that one? No. This might be good for a roof, perhaps? I'm not exactly sure. But here, we'll make down in this corner, kind of, will be one little log house. Ooh. See, I don't much care for that. That's a little bit better. But at the same time, perspective plays a huge role in this, and I'm still not that great at getting the perspective right. In fact, it might be best if we don't use wood. Let's see. Get this set up. And we'll just leave a small entrance here. Nothing fancy for the player. Or no fancy doors or anything like that. You can set it up so that your buildings actually have a doorway entrance that you have to walk into, and then it'll transfer you to a new area. But if you want to have your buildings interiors be separate from your map here, you have to create a new map. You'd have to create a new map and then make a map for each individual building that you place. Obviously, that's the way to do it if you're going about creating a serious map and a serious game and you want to have more control over your environment. But this would just be something simple that we can set up. You can see it automatically creates shadows as well. And if you don't like their shadows, you can click on this, which is the shadow pin, and you can expand the shadows. Obviously, since we can't see the roof of our houses because I'm not designing them with that in mind, we can do this and now expand their shadow out so the sun makes it cast a little bit longer. I don't really think there should be a shadow in here, primarily because if we're going to place a shadow on this wall here, then we really should have shadows like this. Because the light will be coming through the doorway here and kind of expanding out through there. But we'll just leave it like that for now, why not? This isn't very important, just a little bit of detail there. And how about we give them a little road in this town? We'll design the road and then build the houses around that too. This will work, why not? I'll then switch that back to the pin. Okay, whoops. So we'll have this here, take this road this way. They can have a road going out of town there. That road can lead out. We'll have two buildings here, a building here, and maybe like a pond here or something. Place a little doorway thing there. And I still haven't figured out... See, one of the things I don't know, I guess I could try a few things here. No, I'll get into more experimenting with things that I don't know about, maybe in the next video. But for now, I just want to try to cover some things I do know. So, let's go ahead and we'll give him a quick little bed. You can sleep right there, whoever's house this is. He has one little small dresser. Place that right there. And see, this doesn't look... It doesn't look correct to me. But at the same time, it does cover up the wall. But it just runs smack up against the edge there. And I feel there should be something else. I will get more artistic and creative with this stuff as we go along. Which again is hopefully what this series will showcase. That you don't have to... Nobody ever starts out great at something. The only way they ever get great at it is by sticking with it. And that's hopefully, again, what this series is going to do. It's going to force me to stick with it and actually learn how to do this. We'll give him a nice little table there with flowers on it. And a table next to it with a stool. Why not? And there's his house. Don't really have anything else. Don't need to add any windows or anything like that. Again, because this village is not designed to be viewed like that. All we're simply viewing is the very first floor. You can imagine yourself that the building does raise up another 5 to 10 feet. It might have windows scattered around it on the next level, but at this level, no. Whoops. Don't need all those stools out there. So, next thing, let's give him a little doormat here. And again, I won't be placing doormats forever once I learn how to use a door correctly. But this is a pretty fancy doormat for him. There we go. In fact, we'll even place it over the road there. And let's give him a beautiful little rose bushes right there lining his doorway. Why not? Want to fill back in the shadows there that was moved. Shadows are the very last thing you should edit on your map, because as you add walls and floor tiles and items, sometimes it will remove your shadows, and you don't want to be doing the work 2 or 3 times because the game erases it. So let's see, next stop is we're also going to be staying in this house with whoever lives here. So this will also be our inn. To set up an inn, pretty dang simple. You want to click on the events button here, and then right click here and go to quick event creation and click on inn, and you can choose what your innkeeper looks like. There we go. Who should be our innkeeper? Evil, damaged. Again, this game comes with a ton of sprites. They're not really my favorite style of sprites. I don't really care for chibi characters like this, I guess they're called, but it'll do for now. We can have a sheep be the innkeeper. You want to stay at my inn and count me all night long while you try to sleep? No. Maybe some other time. We'll use that in another village somewhere else. A village where the people have all been turned to animals or something ridiculous like that. Who looks like an innkeeper? We need an innkeeper. You know what? You can be the innkeeper. And you can set the price of the inn. 10 gold. Not bad. Fairly cheap. And how about... you know what? We will add some gold to this dresser right here. That way the player can... one of the things you want to do, I think, is add items around for the character to find. If they're going to be dedicated enough to click around and search things, give them something to find. So in this drawer here, we will add a treasure chest. And you can choose your graphic if you want. There's the chests here. And you can add a treasure chest. However, because we already have an item there, we already have a tile, we already have the dresser, we don't want a graphic to overlay on top of it. We will add 50 gold. There we go. And now all the player has to do is come up, check this, and it'll give him 50 gold. You can add anything you want there. Anything from the list anyways. Items, gold, armor. If you want them to find the ultimate weapon in the game, you could add it there. However, we don't want to. Just a little bit of gold. And, let's see. We're going to set this as the starting position, and we're quickly going to test all of this out too. Let's stop the music. And let's test this out. We'll save it. There we go. Voltrania! So yeah, we start in the town. We can dash in the town. Sprint around. Can't walk through the rose bushes, but you can set it up so that the player can walk through rose bushes if you don't want those to be a block. And you can also set it up so that the innkeeper walks around. However, you cannot make her walk around, I believe. Well, I'll see real quick. Let's see, we'll check this. Wow, we opened the dresser and 50 gold was found. Amazing. 10 gold for one night. You want to stay? Sure. And if we had a party, and if we were damaged, everybody would be healed there. Yay! So that works. Fairly straightforward. The game does come with a menu system and everything already. Items, weapons, armors. You can change your skills, check your status. Probably in the next video, I'll be showing how easy it is to change and to create items in this game, how easy it is to change and create characters. But for now, we'll just ignore it. We can save it anywhere, we'll save it there, why not? And end the game to the title. There we go, we can continue instantly right back to it. Tells you how long it's been played, and yeah. So this is coming along nicely, it's working. Obviously there needs to be a lot more detail added, there needs to be more character added, more of everything. We still don't have a way to leave town either, so we're trapped here. In fact, let's remedy that problem right now. Yeah. Ignore the dogs barking. Okay, to change that, to add a new transfer point on the map, which is how we will transfer from the dungeon to the dungeon, and from this town to the town, we go to quick event creation. You want to be set up on the event button, right click on the tile you want to use, and go to transfer. Actually, hang on. Let me go check what the dogs are howling at. Okay, they'll probably go crazy and bark again, but let's see. Yeah, to set up a transfer point, right-click, go to Quick Event Creation, and click Transfer. And then this will ask you where you want your destination to transfer to. We don't want it to transfer to that location. You want to click on these dots here, and click on the Village of Grimrage, the map that we've created here, and we want the player to enter from here. Actually from here. Leave the edge open. That way you can set up transfer points outside of town, right there. But we're going to put... actually, you know what? I think we might be able to overlap, and we're going to try it. We'll place it right there. Just double-click, and there we go. Then we go back to the Village of Grimrage, set up another new event here. Right-click, click on Transfer, and then switch this. And we want to transfer to the world map. We want to transfer right on top of the village as we leave. So there we go. And now, whenever the player enters this tile, they will leave the world, or they will leave the village and go to the world map. I'll show that here in a minute. However, we don't just want one tile to leave the town. We want the entire edge of the map to be where you leave the town from. So just copy. You need to learn Control X and Control C, because I'm not going to be using this menu every time. So we'll just highlight this tile, press Control C, and then just go around to the edge of the map here, pasting it down. Obviously, you don't need to do this if your town is sealed off, if you have a main gate that the player has to come into or anything like that. But if your town's going to be wide and open, it does kind of make sense that they can leave anywhere they want. So, let's go ahead and test this out. This should work now, just like that. We'll start a new game, and yep, now we're on the world map, and if we enter the town again, voila, we're back here in the village of Grimrage. Give me your monies. Awesome. So we can leave from anywhere. Extremely useful, extremely nice, and just close that out, because there's still nothing to do in the game yet. Actually, hang on, I do want to see something. Aha, here we go. Okay, so we used the quick event creation to create the inn. That is the easiest way to create the inn. What that really does is it sets up all of these scripts for you. That way you don't have to script it out yourself. It saves a ton of time, and for dumb people like me who have problems setting this stuff up, it takes care of it. So we can make her move around too, because we don't want her just to stand still like a robot. So we'll go to type. She can move randomly. We don't want her to move around too much either, so we'll just leave her speed on slower, her frequency on normal. Priority, same as our characters. Priority, I'll be explaining that later on too. Walking animation, you don't need to worry about any of these just yet. And you can easily change what she says here. So, let's see. This one, we could edit it. 10 gold for one night. Would you like to stay? We'll just leave that, but you could change it to be whatever you want. We'll just leave that as it is, though. And you don't have to worry about any of this stuff unless you want to worry about scripting, which I really don't. All I wanted to do was make her walk around. And we want to make sure that that's actually working now. So there she goes. She's a lively citizen, no more just an innkeeper statue. She'll walk around in her house here and do whatever she wants, but she will not wander all over the place, I think. I'm not sure how far she'll wander. If she'll come out this door and wander around the rest of the town or not. I kind of hope not. But we'll find out later. Maybe, probably not though. Let's see. How about, this is something that I'm not very good with yet, but I can show you the basics of it. How about we set up a character to join your party? So let's create another building here that that character will live in. So just create this one, a little bit off center from that building. We don't want them to be lined up right next to each other. Have that. I'll fix the overlapping here in a minute, and there we go. Yeah, the door doesn't have to be down in the corner. You can have a door in the middle, door here, door wherever the hell you want. It's all up to you. But we'll have that door here. We'll also give her a nice little doormat. Give her 2 rose bushes, because why not? A little bit of flair. Doesn't really hurt anybody, does it? Let's see. We could give her that. Actually, what about that? Put the table right there in the corner. She can have this one right there. Maybe she's going to be a pious holy knight or something. What if I put it... See, it just doesn't look right shoved into the corner like that. But this one doesn't look right either because it's off-center. I despise things being off-center for no reason. If we're going to have this huge gap here, there damn well better be something placed in it. The only question is what? Could I have a statue of her goddess there? It doesn't look right perfectly because of the way it's set up, but it'll work. Why not? We'll leave that for now. And let's see if I can remember how to do this. Oh, yeah, you know, one thing I could have done, I could have added a floor into this house. That way they're not living on the dirt. If you're going to add a floor, it should be one of the first things that you add, because if you add the tiles for the floor, it will overwrite even the tables and the flare that you add. So let's try that real quick. What should the floor in her house be? Is there a wood floor? There's these tiles here. Of course, that doesn't really look right. It looks like drainage. Some type of little dungeon beneath that, maybe. Have a rattan, I think that's what that's called, style floor. Why not? Yeah, see, it'll overwrite that. It doesn't work. So just set that back up. Sorry, goddess. Now welcome back. That actually looks a little bit better now with the floor in there. So I really have to remember how to add characters here. Let's see, is it under event? This is one thing I haven't actually spent much time on, even though I probably should. Let's see. Graphic, actor. I don't want to worry about the conditions or anything like that. New event. I'm pretty sure that's how you add characters. Oh yeah. No, I won't go through the character generator just yet. All these buttons I'll probably get into on the next video. But for this one, maybe this is how it's done. Add a graphic. Add an actor. Who will join our party? How about this dude here? He can have random movement, priority, same as character. Yeah, that's fine. Walking, stepping, don't have to worry about that. And this is where we kind of have to fool around and figure things out ourselves. So we can double click on that line there, and it will bring up the event commands. There are a ton of events that you have to figure out how to use and the best way to process them. What we want to do for this guy is we want to show text. Let's see, what do we want him to say? Hey, mind if I join you? I hate this place. I'm ready to get out of here. And we will also give him a new face. Just double click on the face graphics there. And who has blue hair? You know, it could be him. There we go. And we'll preview this. You can see that the way we've got it set up now, it'll cut off the word place. So we'll just click on this, bring it down, and there we go. And if you let your mouse hover, you can see this whole box pop up here. Those are different commands that you can use inside the chat box in order to change things. And I'll be using that some more at some point in some of the later videos. I don't know what batch entry does yet, so I'm not going to worry about it. You can change the background. And let's see. Hey, mind if I join you? I hate this place. Okay, there we go. He'll ask us that. And then we want to add, again, click on the line. We want to show choices. We want yes or no. You can have multiple choices. You can have a branching dialogue path if you really want to. For now, we don't. And this will give us our little choices here. Whenever we say yes, we'll click on this line here. And let's see. Change class, change nickname. Where is it? Flow control. Whenever we say yes, we want him to join the party, is what we want. Change followers, gather followers. There's got to be a way to do this. Change vehicle. Change party, recover. I know there's a way to do this, because I have this done on my other map that I'm working on. Change party members. There's one switch somewhere in here. Jump to label. Movement, no. You could have them transfer us somewhere. You could have a cleric that will teleport you to various locations around the world, to various dungeons, things like that. Change player followers, no, that's not it. Gather followers, no. Various music changes, no. I thought that this was the right way to do this. Let's see. I may have to pause this and find it and then come back. Again, I don't know all of this very well. I haven't spent that many hours with it. Change party member. Changes the actors in the party. Maybe that is. Add. Okay. We can add. We'll add Natalie. Why not? Even though Natalie is obviously not this guy. In fact, let's change that. We'll add Natalie. Let's see. What's initialize say? Reverts the starting state as specified. We'll add that. Add Natalie when no. Show text. Whatever. I'll find my own way. There we go. And actually, let's change this. I don't know who Natalie is or what she looks like, but for now, Natalie is a blue-haired dude, apparently. Whatever. I'll find my own way. I don't need your help anyways. And yeah, we'll just leave him like that. Now, one thing that I don't know, and I'm probably doing this wrong, is I don't know how to make it so that these people disappear after they join you. Let's see. Hey, mind if I join you? I hate this place. Yeah, join me. And so then it puts Natalie in our party. There is a way that you can make it so that whenever he joins you that this event is deleted, so that he wouldn't still be there and he would never come back. But I don't know how to do it yet. So, but you can see that's how you can add people to your party. There's just a lot more to it. No. Whatever. I'll find my own way. But it's that simple to add dialogue to characters, and to do things. It's fairly simple and straightforward. There's not a whole lot of advanced scripting knowledge that you need, just common sense. And a lot of patience and practice. So, I think I'm going to end this video here, and in the next one, I don't know what I'll be doing. I don't know if I'll still continue to work on this map, or if I'll load up the one that I've spent a little bit of time on, and we'll test that one out. I'm not entirely sure yet. It's fun, very simple and easy to use tool, and again, I want to thank all of the donators who have donated money to me. I wouldn't have been able to buy this, well, I would have been, but I really would not have liked to. All of the donations that are sent to me get thrown back into the channel, either through new hardware, through account upgrades, or through buying games and tools like this. And again, thank you, I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video, where who knows what we will learn. Maybe we'll learn how to get rid of this guy after he joins our party. That way he's not doppelganging himself, because that's just weird and wrong.